Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into some fascinating market trends and global events today that might just have a big impact on your financial health. We've got investment insights, market analysis, even some tech and healthcare stuff to unpack.
Sounds like a lot to cover.
It is. It is.
Uh-huh.
But hey, first off, the Nutstuff portfolio is doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah. How's it looking?
Up 8.2% year to date. It's actually outperforming the MSCI AWI benchmark.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, we're happy with it. It really shows our focus on those emerging trends.
Definitely. It's a wild ride out there in the markets right now.
That's the truth. But that's what makes it exciting, right?
Absolutely. Lots of volatility, but tons of opportunity, too, for those in the know.
Exactly. So speaking of exciting developments, did you catch that GameStop might be investing in Bitcoin?
I did see that. Pretty bold move.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So what do you make of it? Genius strategy or just a big gamble?
Well, it's definitely a statement.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how companies are starting to really look at digital assets.
So you think it's more than just trying to, ride the Bitcoin wave?
I think so, yeah. This could be about something bigger, like this whole trend of decentralized finance, DeFi.
Okay, break that down for me. DeFi. Decentralized finance. What's that all about?
Basically, it's using blockchain technology to create like a new financial system.
And what's so special about that?
Well, think about it. It's more open. It's more transparent.
So more control for the everyday person.
Exactly. More control for individuals and communities over their own data, over their own finances.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. So we're talking about things like secure storage then.
Right. Secure storage, decentralized computing power. Think private telecom networks, even encrypted identity frameworks.
Wow, it sounds like blockchain could really shake things up.
It has the potential to. It's not just about finance anymore.
That's a big idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you think about where the big tech companies fit in all this, like Microsoft.
Right. What about them?
Well, they've been canceling some of their data center leases.
Oh, yeah. I saw that too. Some people are saying it's a bad sign.
Yeah, I could see that. But could it be something else? Could they be shifting gears?
It's possible. Maybe they're looking at this whole decentralized computing model too.
So they're downsizing to upsize in a way.
Potentially.
Yeah.
As AI gets bigger, it needs more and more computing power.
And that's where decentralized computing comes in.
Exactly. Companies like GameStop, if they're smart, they can take advantage of this shift.
So Microsoft scaling back could actually benefit GameStop.
Fascinating.
Definitely a changing of the guard.
And speaking of tech giants, what did you think about Apple giving in to the UK government on that data protection thing?
Oh, yeah, the advanced data protection removal for UK users.
Right. It's like they're bending the knee to the government on privacy.
Yeah, it does make you think about who really has the power here, the companies or the governments.
And where do we, the users, fit in?
Exactly. It all comes back to digital sovereignty and control over our own data.
Absolutely. Well, from digital power struggles to a real-world one, the Russia-Ukraine conflict is still shaking up the markets. How's that playing out? Well, geopolitical instability always makes things unpredictable.
No kidding. It's got to be affecting energy prices.
Oh, absolutely. And
Well,
it affects investor sentiment, too.
makes sense. People get nervous when things are uncertain.
Exactly. Investors want stability. They want growth.
So where are they putting their money?
Well, in times like these, sectors like defense and energy tend to do well.
Interesting. It seems like even the big tech companies are feeling the pressure, though.
That's right. Even companies like Tesla and Microsoft have seen price corrections.
Wow. I guess nobody's immune to these global events.
It's all connected. Global markets are intertwined.
So one event can trigger a whole chain reaction.
Exactly. And now, with Iran potentially becoming another target in the Middle East, things could get even more complicated.
I've heard rumblings about that. What could happen if things escalate there?
Well, we have to be careful talking about this. It's a sensitive situation.
Boy.
But hypothetically, changes in government policies could lead to more military spending.
Okay, and that would mean
It could boost defense stocks in the short term, but it could also strain trade relations.
some more uncertainty all around.
Right. And then you've got the potential unrest in Gaza and the possibility of reviving that plan to displace Palestinians.
Yeah, it's like a powder keg over there.
It is. The situation is very fragile, and predicting what will happen is almost impossible.
So how can investors make sense of all this chaos?
It's about staying informed, managing risk, understanding how global events impact the markets.
That's a lot to keep track of. But in the midst of all this, I was surprised to learn that Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway pay a huge chunk of U.S. corporate taxes.
Oh, yeah. something like 5% of all corporate taxes.
It's mind-blowing. So what does that tell us?
Well, it shows how much power is concentrated in just a few companies.
And that affects the whole market.
Absolutely. A small group of stocks, those market leaders, have been driving U.S. indices to record highs.
But are they invincible?
Even the giants can fall, especially when global events disrupt things.
So nothing's a sure thing.
That's the truth. And then you've got U.S. oil production plateauing and talk of a price correction coming.
I've heard that too, especially with Saudi Arabia and Russia working together on oil output.
Right. That cooperation throws another wrench in the works.
So many moving pieces.
It all connects in ways you might not expect.
It's like a giant web.
Exactly. You pull on one thread and it affects the whole thing.
Well, let's shift gears a bit. I want to talk about something a little more personal. This idea of FEMI-US.
Oh, yeah. That's a fascinating one.
It is. It's got two sides to it, right?
Yeah.
The FENA-seed for infertility and the FEMBLOC for permanent birth control.
Right. Two very different applications.
I'm curious what you think about its potential impact. I mean, from both a market and a social perspective.
Well, FEMI-US could be a game changer in the healthcare market.
You think so?
Potentially solutions for infertility and permanent birth control are huge.
But it's stepping into a minefield, right? With all the debates about reproductive rights.
It is. It's controversial for sure.
So it's a business opportunity, but also a social and political lightning rod.
Exactly. Understanding the market isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding the world around us.
The big picture.
Right. The social trends, the politics, the technology. It all plays a part.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here today. GameStop, Bitcoin, global tensions, even this FEMI-US development. It's a lot to take in.
It is. The world's changing fast, and it's not always easy to keep up.
That's why we do these deep dives. So before we get lost in the big picture, let's bring it back down to earth. What does all this mean for you, the individual investor? Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Disclaimer. North Breach Limited, Nutstuff trading name, is an appointed representative of Messels Limited, which is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Nutstuff has made every reasonable effort to ensure the information provided in this communication is correct. But Nutstuff makes no representation nor any warranty as to whether the information is accurate, complete, or up to date. To the extent permitted by law, Nutstuff accepts no responsibility for any errors or misstatements, negligent or otherwise. Nutstuff, its associates, officers, or employees may also have interests in the financial instruments referred to in this information by acting in various roles. The information in this media is confidential. If you are not the intended recipient, you are not authorized to use the information in this media in any way. Nutstuff does not guarantee the integrity of any media or attached files. The view or opinions expressed are the author's own and may not reflect the view or opinions of Nutstuff. Electronic communications carried within the Nutstuff system may be monitored.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive.
It can make your head spin, right? Trying to keep up with it all.
Yeah, it's a lot. But you know, the good news is we actually have more control over our financial well-being than we realize.
That's true. We're not just helpless bystanders.
Exactly. So how can we take all this big picture stuff we've been talking about and make it work for us?
Yeah. How can we actually improve our financial health?
Give us the actionable steps. What can our listeners start doing today?
Well, first off, diversification is key.
Yeah, diversification. I hear that a lot. But why is it so important now?
Because we've seen how vulnerable even those big companies are to all these global shifts.
Right, like Microsoft, Tesla, even Apple.
Exactly. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different asset classes, sectors, even geographic regions.
Makes sense. Don't bet it all on one horse.
Right. And the other big thing is staying informed.
Yeah, knowledge is power, as they say.
It really is in this case. Keep up with the market trends, the geopolitical news, the tech developments.
So don't just skim the headlines.
Nope. You got to dig deeper. Understand the context behind the news.
Find those reliable sources.
Absolutely. And then once you've got that knowledge, the next step is taking a long-term view.
Okay, so don't get spooked by every little dip in the market.
Right. Investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't panic and sell everything when things get bumpy.
Easy to say, harder to do.
I know.
Okay.
But trust me, it's worth it. Stay focused on your goals and stick to your plan.
So resist those knee-jerk reactions.
Exactly. Don't let fear or greed drive your decisions.
Easier said than done when your portfolio is taking a nosedive.
It is. But remember, market downturns are normal. They're part of the cycle.
So ride the waves.
Exactly. And history shows that markets tend to recover over time.
So patience is a virtue.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, don't be afraid to get some help.
You mean like talking to a financial advisor?
Exactly. They can help you create a plan that's tailored to your specific needs and goals.
Okay, so we've got diversification, staying informed, taking that long-term view, managing our emotions, and getting professional advice if we need it. Sounds like a plan.
It's a good framework for building a more resilient financial future.
I like that. A framework for resilience. Because let's face it, we need that resilience these days.
We really do. The world's changing faster than ever.
And it's only getting more complex.
So much is happening. Technological advancements, geopolitical shifts, social changes. It's a lot to process.
And it's all impacting the financial landscape.
It really is. In ways we could never have predicted.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but the pieces keep changing.
That's a great analogy. We don't have all the answers.
But we can adapt.
Exactly. Stay curious. Keep learning. And adjust our strategies as the world evolves.
You know, it's fascinating. We've been talking about these big global forces and how they affect us.
Right.
But if even those giants like Microsoft and Tesla aren't immune to it all, it makes you wonder,
Wonder what?
what can the average person do to not just survive, but actually thrive in all this uncertainty?
That's the million-dollar question. How do we take control of our financial well-being when it feels like so much is out of our control?
It's easy to feel powerless.
It is. But there are things we can do. We've got the foundation now.
Right. Diversification, staying informed, all that.
Exactly. Now we need to build on that.
Okay, so let's get specific. What are some strategies that everyday people can use to build that resilience and reach their financial goals?
That's where we're headed next. We've got a lot more to explore.
I'm ready for it. Let's take a quick pause here, though, to give everyone a chance to catch their breath. All right, we're back. You ready to dive into some specific strategies?
Let's do it. We've talked about the big picture now. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Love it. So where do we start?
Remember how we talked about digital sovereignty and taking control of our data?
Yeah, that was fascinating.
I think that's a good place to start. Building a digital safety net.
Okay, a digital safety net. What does that look like?
It's about being proactive, protecting your personal information and your finances online.
So like being careful about what we share online.
That's part of it, but it goes deeper. Think
Yeah.
about secure storage options for your sensitive data.
Makes sense. What else?
Explore privacy-focused browsers and communication tools.
Right. So I'm not just handing over all my data to the big tech companies.
Exactly. It's about minimizing your digital footprint and really taking ownership of your privacy.
Okay, so that's the digital safety net. What other practical steps can we take?
Never stop learning, especially when it comes to finance and technology.
So keep reading, keep researching, keep those brain cells firing.
Exactly. The world is changing so fast, we need to stay ahead of the curve.
I like to think of it as investing in myself.
That's a great way to put it. And as you learn, look for ways to diversify your income.
Oh, yeah. The side hustle life.
Exactly. It's not just about working that 9 to 5 anymore. Explore freelancing online business opportunities, anything that can create multiple streams of income.
That's smart. Especially with all the talk about AI taking over jobs.
Right. Having multiple income streams gives you a buffer if one dries up.
It's like the new job security.
I think so. And one more thing, don't underestimate the power of community.
Community.
Yeah, connect with people who are on the same journey, learn from each other, share resources.
It's like we talked about with GameStop and blockchain.
Yeah.
That community aspect.
Exactly. You can create your own financial community, support each other, learn together.
I love that idea.
Thank
It's
you.
not a solo mission.
It doesn't have to be.
Wow.
And remember, even small steps can lead to big results.
Consistency is key.
Absolutely. Start with 1 or 2 of these strategies and build from there.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap things up. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from global trends to market insights to personal strategies.
It's been a whirlwind. But it's so important to have these conversations
I agree. It's about empowering people to take control of their financial lives.
and to not be afraid of the future.
Exactly. The world is changing, but that doesn't mean we can't thrive.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Remember, stay curious, stay informed, and keep taking those steps towards a brighter financial future.